The Myrtles Plantation, the haunting of the South. Nestled in the heart of Louisiana, amidst the sweltering heat and shadowed by ancient oak trees draped in Spanish moss, lies the Myrtles Plantation. This stately antebellum mansion, with its wraparound porches and grand columns, might seem like a picturesque example of Southern charm, but beneath its genteel facade lies a history steeped in blood, betrayal, and unspeakable horrors. Known as one of the most haunted houses in America, the Myrtles Plantation is a place where the past refuses to rest, and where the ghosts of those who met untimely and violent ends still linger. The story of the Myrtles Plantation begins in 1796 when General David Bradford, a man fleeing persecution for his role in the Whiskey Rebellion, built the house as a refuge for his family. But it was under the ownership of Clark Woodruff, who married Bradford's daughter, Sarah, that the plantation's dark history truly began to take shape. Woodruff was known as a strict and domineering man, but it was his rumored affair with one of the slaves, a young woman named Chloe, that set the stage for the plantation's haunting. Chloe, who was employed as a housemaid, became a central figure in the Woodruff household. However, as time passed, Chloe began to fear that her usefulness was waning and that she might be sent back to the fields, or worse, sold off entirely. In a desperate attempt to secure her place in the household, Chloe devised a plan that would forever curse the Myrtles Plantation. According to legend, Chloe, in her desperation, decided to bake a cake laced with a poisonous extract from the oleander plant. Her intent was not to kill, but to make the family ill so that she could nurse them back to health, thereby securing her position. However, her plan went tragically wrong. Sarah Woodruff and her two young daughters, who were the primary recipients of Chloe's deadly concoction, fell gravely ill after eating the cake. Within days, all three were dead, their lives cut short by Chloe's misguided attempt at security. When the other slaves on the plantation discovered what Chloe had done, they were terrified of the repercussions. To avoid being implicated in the murders and fearing the wrath of Clark Woodruff, they took matters into their own hands. Chloe was dragged from the house and hanged from a tree in the plantation's courtyard as a warning to others. Her body was then disposed of in the Mississippi River, leaving no trace of her existence, except for her spirit, which many believe never left the plantation. Not long after these tragic events, strange occurrences began to plague the Myrtles Plantation. Visitors and residents alike reported seeing the ghostly figure of a woman wearing a green turban, believed to be Chloe, wandering the grounds. She was often seen standing near the tree where she had been hanged, her eyes filled with sorrow, as if reliving the horror of her final moments. But Chloe was not the only spirit said to haunt the plantation. Over the years, the Myrtles Plantation became the site of numerous other deaths, some shrouded in mystery, others the result of violent confrontations. The most infamous of these is the murder of William Winter, an attorney who lived at the plantation with his wife and 6 children in the 1870s. According to legend, one evening Winter was teaching a Sunday school lesson when a stranger rode up to the house and called out for him. As Winter stepped onto the porch, the stranger drew a gun and shot him in cold blood. Mortally wounded, Winter staggered back into the house, clutching his chest as blood poured from his wound. Desperate to reach his wife and children, he began to climb the grand staircase, but he only made it to the 17th step before collapsing. It is said that Winter died in his wife's arms, his blood staining the steps where he fell. To this day, visitors claim to hear the sound of heavy, labored footsteps on the stairs, followed by a thud, as if Winter is still trying to reach his family. The house itself seems to be alive with the spirits of those who perished within its walls. The grand mirrors in the foyer are said to be haunted by the souls of Sarah Woodruff and her daughters, their faces occasionally appearing in glass, trapped in an endless reflection of their tragic deaths. The plantation's corridors are filled with cold spots, flickering lights, and the faint scent of jasmine, a floral fragrance often associated with Sarah. Some visitors have reported hearing the sound of children laughing, only to find the hallways empty and silent. But perhaps the most disturbing aspect of the Myrtles Plantation is its history of inexplicable deaths and ghostly apparitions. One of the plantation's most famous hauntings involves the so-called ghost girl, a spectral child believed to be one of the Woodruff daughters. Visitors and staff have reported seeing her playing in the hallways or peering out windows, her pale face pressed against the woman seen in a white dress, her eyes sad and vacant, as if searching for the mother who was taken from her so tragically. The plantation's guest rooms are no refuge from the spirits that roam the property. Guests have reported waking up in the middle of the night to see the figure of a young girl standing at the foot of their bed, her expression one of sorrow and longing. Others have felt an invisible presence sitting on the edge of the bed, the mattress dipping under the weight of something unseen. The sounds of doors opening and closing on their own, phantom footsteps, and disembodied voices are common occurrences, leaving visitors and staff with a deep sense of unease. In one particularly chilling incident, a photograph taken by a visitor captured the image of a shadowy figure standing between two of the plantation's buildings. The figure, which appeared to be wearing a long dress and a turban, bore a striking resemblance to the descriptions of Chloe, the ill-fated housemaid. The photograph, which has been analyzed by experts, remains unexplained, adding to the plantation's eerie reputation. As the years have passed, the Myrtles plantation has become a magnet for paranormal investigators, ghost hunters, and thrill-seekers eager to experience its haunted history firsthand. Many have come hoping to catch a glimpse of the spirits that are said to inhabit the house, while others have left in a hurry, terrified by what they have seen or felt. The plantation's reputation as one of the most haunted places in America is well deserved, with countless reports of ghostly encounters and unexplained phenomena. Yet, despite its dark history, the Myrtles plantation remains a place of beauty and mystery. The stately mansion, with its towering columns and sweeping verandas, stands as a reminder of a bygone era, a time of grandeur and elegance, but also of suffering and tragedy. The ancient oak trees that surround the house, their branches heavy with moss, seem to whisper the secrets of the past, their roots entwined with the spirits that refuse to rest. For those who visit the Myrtles plantation, the experience is unforgettable. The air is thick with history, and the presence of something otherworldly is palpable. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the stories of the Myrtles plantation are enough to send shivers down your spine. It is a place where the past and present collide, where the veil between the living and the dead is thin, and where the echoes of those who met tragic ends still linger, trapped in a never-ending cycle of sorrow and loss. As night falls on the Myrtles plantation, the shadows grow longer, and the house takes on an even more eerie atmosphere. The flickering lights from the windows cast strange patterns on the walls, and the sound of the wind rustling through the trees is like a mournful sigh. Inside, the spirits that have haunted the plantation for centuries continue their restless wanderings, forever bound to the place where their lives were cut short. The Myrtles plantation is more than just a haunted house. It is a symbol of the deep, dark history of the South, a place where the ghosts of the past refuse to be forgotten. The stories of Chloe, the Woodruffs, William Winter, and the many others who met their fate within its walls are a reminder that the past is never truly gone, and that some spirits are too restless to find peace. For those who dare to visit, the Myrtles plantation offers a glimpse into a world where the living and the dead are intertwined, where the sins of the past are not easily forgiven, and where the line between reality and the supernatural is frightening.